Video pros call to order today, 1:24 p.m., February 16th, Thursday. My name is Brennan Kelsey. Cheryl Knotts and Ms. Bonnie Jackson will be panel. We're at DC headquarters in Baton Rouge. Our remote location is Richland Parish Detention Center with staff and support at Richland. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Quincy McClendon.
No, just staff and support right now.
And Lieutenant Graham, Richland Parish.
Okay, Lieutenant. All right, ready for our first case. So we do have Ms. Laquita Collins. She'll speak at the appropriate time. Please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Quincy McClendon, DOC number 467158.
Okay, Quincy, you heard the introduction. We're here for parole interview. We'll ask you some questions. You can respond at the end. You can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Quincy McClendon, DOC number 467158. You're a fifth class offender. Parole eligibility date 4/23/2023. Good time 12/14/2023. Full term 1/24/2030. 9-year sentence. Distribution of marijuana. Possession with intent to distribute marijuana. Possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please answer. Bonnie Jackson.
Hi, Mr. McClendon. How you doing this afternoon?
Doing fine to you, ma'am.
Good. I have some questions for you, Mr. McClendon. First, how old are you?
41.
And how much time have you actually served on this 9-year sentence?
I've been down 2 years and almost a month.
I have about 2 years. You're a fifth felony offender, Mr. McClendon.
Yes, ma'am.
2003, you had a possession of cocaine. That was revoked because of a new felony, which was possession with intent to distribute. You were convicted of or you pled guilty or sentenced for possession with intent to distribute cocaine in 2004. You paroled, and that parole was revoked in 2009. Distribution, a new felony distribution of marijuana in 2010 on distribution of marijuana, you paroled because of and you were revoked because of a new felony. And then in 2013, you were revoked on January 27th of 21, which is what you're serving time for. Mr. McClendon, given all the opportunities that you've been given over the course of your criminal history, why should we feel comfortable or give you another opportunity, given that you've never successfully completed any term of supervision and you've been revoked always because you continue to commit the same crime? So why should we even consider releasing?
Ma'am.
I should consider releasing you.
At the time I was young and I feel like I didn't have nothing to live for, you know, and I was just running the streets wild and I did things I didn't have no business. And I'm a grown man now. I've grown, you know, so I learned, you know, so I have kids to live for right now. I just lost my two most important family members, my mother and my father. Now I have something to live for. I have 4 kids. I have 3 daughters and a son. And I don't want them to follow the same tracks I've been going down in my life. You know, I feel like I come to better myself right now, you know. I want to go out and be a father to my kids like my parents was to me, and I just took the wrong road of destruction.
First of all, you were just revoked in 2021.
Yes, ma'am. I just got in trouble, and yes, ma'am.
So you weren't young. You were 38 to 39 when you got revoked.
Yes, ma'am. But the one I'm saying prior before that, I was young, but this right here,
You didn't stop. And you had kids, you had kids.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Oh, let me ask you this. What programs have you taken since January of 2021?
I took reentry, and I just got a certificate for risk management.
Phase 1?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's 2 phases to that. What kind of substance, and you did celebrate recovery, that was in 2011.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, like, you didn't complete that until 2011. I noticed that you had 2 write-ups in 2021, on September 28th of 21 for Contraband. What was that about?
They came and did a random shakedown on me, and that prior to the shakedown, they searched my area. I had a camouflage hat that said I couldn't have. I had a piece of cardboard in one of the foot lockers I had. It had pictures of guns on it, like graffiti of guns, and it said it had some bleach around my area and some Newport cigarettes I wasn't supposed to have. And they put me in the cell block, and I lost 30 days of the 120 days I earned from reentry.
Well, you knew you weren't supposed to have cigarettes, so why would you have cigarettes?
They sell cigarettes at the center I was at.
Well, what about the intoxication on 12/20/21?
I worked at the Golden Nugget Casino, and the day that night I worked, I got off that morning. Me and the other guy that worked with me, we did a restaurant. In the restaurant, they said they found the alcohol bottles in. I did not work in. They didn't have no proof or none of that, or whatever. And the guy I worked with, he was a witness, but he couldn't help me out in court. So they said a guy wrote a statement on me and saying the alcohol bottles belonged to me, which I didn't work with nobody but one elder guy. And that night there, I don't know what happened that morning after that. And that was Monday. I got off Tuesday morning. Tuesday and Wednesday, I was off work. And Thursday, they called me up front to the administration, and they were telling me about the situation or whatever. And I never got a breathalyzer test. They never tested me for alcohol or nothing like that or whatever. And it was a totally lie. I didn't have nothing to do with the situation they said I had going on with that situation, man.
What about the aggravated work offense?
They just gave me the aggravated work offense because they said I got fired off the job.
Well, did you get fired off the job?
Yes, man. They said the man named Chef Elliott, he fired me because due to the situation, they said the guy wrote a statement on me about that the bottles of alcohol was mine. They wasn't.
Are you in any kind of work release program now?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you?
Richmond Parish Detention Center.
Where's your job?
Oh, they never gave me one just yet.
So you don't have a job right now.
No, ma'am.
So what do you do all day?
Well, I just got put in work release Monday. I was a Class A trustee. I used to work at the school board.
So you have another job?
No, man. I just got put in work release Monday.
They haven't signed you to a business or a company yet?
No, man. We have to do some more paperwork. We just started on the paperwork yesterday. We have to do some more paperwork. We should have a job by next week.
Okay. All right, who's in the room with you?
Sergeant Graham.
Deputy Phillips.
What tell us about Mr. McClendon?
To my knowledge, this is Lieutenant Graham, to my knowledge, there's been no write-ups or anything to that nature while at our facility. And just to clarify what he is saying about the work release, it is my knowledge that he is in work release, but the lieutenant that handles the work release and finding them jobs has not gotten him a job yet. And it should be somewhere near the end of next week, is what I've been told.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I have.
All right. Ms. Collins, would you like to make a brief statement?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to make a brief statement? Go ahead and make a statement.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing this evening? I feel like Quincy needs to be out at this time because I really need his help. And it's affecting the kids more than it's affecting anybody. Because when he left in 2021, it broke my daughter down. She lost focus. She's not doing well in school. Then she turned around in 2022 and lost her other hero, which was his daddy, which is her grandfather. That didn't make it no better. Then we just lost his mama February the 9th. And it's hard on me trying to deal with this with the kids Besides, I have a seizure disorder and I go through depression. Not only that, I'm trying to take care of the family by myself. And it's hard living off one income. But like I say, mainly it's the kids that's suffering. And I want my daughter to better herself in school, but she keep on saying, I'm used to two parents. She not used to one parent. I'm used to two parents. That's all I can get besides the emotional that she going through with all of this.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you for your comments. Yes, ma'am. All right. Would you like to make a statement on your behalf, Mr. McClendon?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And as my fiance was just saying, like my daughter, when I talk to her on the phone, she be telling me like, she feel lost, like she need me there, whatever, what I'm saying? Like when my mother and my father were living before I came to prison, I used to help my father out real, a lot. I used to go down and help him. He was disabled. I used to go down in the morning, I used to feed him breakfast, I used to help my mom clean him up real good, take him getting baths and stuff like that, I used to help my mom out a lot, I go around the house, keep the yard cleaned up for her, keep their cars clean, what I'm saying? I played a big role in my family, what I'm saying, with my fiance, I had a job, but I stepped out and did the wrong thing, and I messed up, what I'm saying? She warned me at the time that the situation happened before I sold the drugs to the undercover, and she warned me, she told me don't do it, what I'm saying? I had the big head and I went ahead and did what I wasn't supposed to do, whatever, what I'm saying? If I listened to her, I wouldn't be in this situation right now. I was being a dickhead and I did the wrong thing I didn't have no business doing. Now I take my fault in it.
All right. Thank you for your comment. Council fair to vote, Ms. Jackson?
Yeah. Mr. McClendon,
Yes, ma'am.
you're only 41 years old,
Yes,
yet
ma'am.
every one of your convictions have been drug related, basically out in the community, selling drugs, running lines. And it took you to go to prison to figure out that you were causing harm. You have a disciplinary history. You've only been there since January 21. You've already had 3 write-ups in that short period of time. You have opposition from the VA and from law enforcement. And you have a good time date of September 4th of this year. If you're fortunate enough to get another job and you transition work program, I think you need to take advantage of that. But I also think you need to complete the second phase of risk management. So my vote today is denied.
All right, Ms. Renato.
My vote today also is not based on the law enforcement opposition to the prosecutors.
And I vote to deny for the same reason you said. 3 votes to deny today. Your vote's been denied. Good luck to you. We'll adjourn it. 137 and Richland.
Thank y'all.
It was a horrible interview. I mean, let's be real. And the idea that he's getting out in December of this year, that's soon. I don't have any. It's just a horrible interview. You can't even seem to feel bad for him. Either he's got the worst luck in the world. It's like he gets this job where he was working in a casino, and then he gets fired. So he gets the aggravated, loses 30 days of good time. And don't mess around, man. It's work. You make the money, send it back to your family. You got your daughters and your son, and then you got to feel terrible for his kids. They lose both their grandparents back to back and their father. Just to think about what that's done to them. And it seems their grandparents were just the bigger part of their lives. That's the biggest heartbreak there. Is just can't imagine being like, I think I have it bad, and then you hear about but I don't feel bad for him. He just seems to keep, even in his last words that he said, he's like, she told me not to sell to him, and I did, and it was an undercover. And it's like getting caught selling to an undercover. just like a small amount probably, and to get locked back up because you're an habitual, man. You would think that you would know who's who in the community. You wouldn't sell them undercover, but I guess it's not so simple. But he got back into work early, so it is interesting. But imagine if he didn't drink. Imagine if he like literally had done nothing wrong, and he that would just be a bad string of luck. That would suck. But he had an excuse for everything, and just not a good interview. I mean, how can you get written up for Newports if they sell it in there? Like, was it not his? Was it? How does that even work? I'm confused about that part. He got written up for having Newports, but they sell it in the commissary. So, what did that mean exactly? Did they not sell Newports, and he was just kind of like playing fast with words about that write up? Oh, right. And the part of like really not prepared to come to, well, why did he do this? And it's, well, I was young. It's like, you were 39 years old. That was 2 years ago. Like, how is that the best that you've come up with? You have all this time to think about what you're going to say at your parole hearing. And what you come up with is I was young and I have kids now. And it's like, sir, this was 2 years ago. You were 39 and you had all your kids then. It's like, oh, I didn't really think about that part. That's just confusing. Like all you have is time when you're locked up. You would think that you'd come up with I don't know. You see it all. You see every type of interview. But I guess like the real victim here is his wife and his kids, and that's just terrible. Anyway, so with that, I'll let you go.